put their toys in their yard, high grass, but this building has been up in this condition for months without one summons. I don't feel the governing body should have to be waiting on the promises of Mr. Capozza much longer. Which we can do that? Okay, excellent. Does anyone know who the author behind the town newsletter is?
Glad you brought that up. No.
Okay.
But we need to.
I agree. I'm glad that I wrote this down because I'm so tired of that hardly remember.
I know I forgot 2 things.
I've asked, I haven't heard anything, but simply telling people that it is a volunteer it bothers me. Well, it was a volunteer background check. Were they background checked as per the town code? We don't know. Why is the volunteer involved in government business, and why is there secrecy behind their identity? I would like for this governing body to pass a resolution requiring the mayor to tell us who this volunteer is, disclose who this volunteer is. It's not a town, it comes off as a town publication, and it's without a doubt politically slanted and factually incorrect on many levels. With what appears to be the norm in the dissemination of confidential information, I believe that the governing body should have the opportunity to review it before it's released. It's not a town publication, as I've said, but if the mayor's office continues to represent it as if it were, we should at least have the opportunity to review it. And if this behavior does persist, I would request that the town attorney investigate the publication and its content pertaining to our code of ethics. Can we pass a resolution, or should I just email them?
Well, this is what? This is a website that's put on the town?
Yeah.
It's an opt-in through the town website, which makes it town property.
What is an opt-in?
Did you see it is the newsletter that was put out that...
I want to join your mail list.
The email blast.
Right, the
Okay.
email blast?
And it's through the town website.
Right.
Which means if a town employee is not the one generating it.
Not only that, it's politically slanted. I mean, it's a pure political piece.
I'm just trying to understand the nature of the mailing itself. So it's put out, it's put
It's
out through-
electronically emailed to people that opted in.
Okay, from the town.
From the town website.
From the town website.
Correct.
Yes.
Right.
But if he wants to rename it to, his point of view, I'm certainly okay with that.
But it can't go through the town website.
All right, but if is it
No.
titled like Mayor's,
It's illegal.
like Mayor's Corner?
No. It's called Phillipsburg Riverfront News.
No, it says the mayor worked on this, the mayor worked on that, the mayor worked on this.
Okay, well, the mayor can
Right, but
put out
it's,
his own
I agree wholeheartedly.
position.
But it appears to be as if it's a town newsletter.
And it's not.
Okay.
As if it's speaking on behalf of the town.
Okay.
It
Right.
also released the information that was distributed in executive session. So that's
Wow.
a bit of a problem.
Ethics charge. Put them up on ethics.
Thank you.
That's ridiculous. That's cause for
After,
censorship, actually.
folks, we're trying to get, and I apologize that I have all this. I do believe that it's prudent that this governing body establish a redevelopment committee as the redevelopment entity to meet with potential investors, town professionals, interview potential investors, and direct the mayor to begin contract negotiations with selected investors for redevelopment. Mayor does appear to be overwhelmed as of late, and his duty to oversee and administrate the daily operations of the town of Phillipsburg. I believe by establishing this committee, we will be alleviating his workload and take on the responsibility this form of government requires from its legislative body. I would like to, do I have the motion?
Right, you want to form a subcommittee of the redevelopment?
For redevelopment.
The council is the redevelopment entity.
Correct.
So you guys are in charge of redevelopment. You want to form a subcommittee to work with these
Work with the
various
investors,
projects?
right, and then advise council, right, report back to council. Council would then okay this and then direct the mayor to begin
Right, I would just
negotiations.
recommend that you guys work, maybe form it to work in conjunction with the mayor's office. Hand in hand.
Correct. As stated earlier, I'd also like to establish a, we had called it, let me just get it, a sewer subcommittee to work with Attorney Galatio on the sewer issues in town and the sewer rates, and they would also report back to council. So it's a sewer utility subcommittee.
Okay, because you guys are the sewer.
Correct.
Utility.
But we need to divvy up the work
Right.
because
Okay.
we all seem to be doing the same thing, and we're falling behind, so we need to,
And again, I'll echo what I just said, and just urge you guys to work
excellent.
in conjunction with the mayor.
So the last one that I have, I've touched on already, and I can't back away from this because it has become personal. I do believe that I am particularly concerned with the behavior of Planning Board member David Morissette and wish to enact Town Code Section 525.02, Legislative Powers, and Chapter 360, Section 3, under vacancies and removals, which states that the council may remove by at least a 2/3 vote of the whole number of council any municipal officer other than the mayor or a member of council for cause. Upon notice and an opportunity to be heard, this applies to all land use members except for a Class 1 member as per our town statute. Mr. Morissette is a Class 4. Mr. Morissette, as an appointed Class 4 member of the Phillipsburg Land Use Board, has proven that he cannot remain impartial, compromise the integrity of his appointed position, and most recently chose to take part in political activism against a land use applicant rather than performing his appointed duty and allowing the process to be heard. Allowing it to be heard justly, thus leaving such applicants with the point of view that the Phillipsburg Land Use Board as a whole is quote-unquote fixed or has publicly adopted a point of view without allowing the applicant to be heard. Also, during his activism, Mr. Morissette created a website and took a social media campaign to make baseless allegations that select members of Phillipsburg Town Council, both Democrat and Republican, took part in inappropriate and unethical behavior. Prior to such, and again, placing politics above that of his appointed duty to the town of Phillipsburg, Mr. Morissette published the confidential estimates in October and November of 2017 in an effort of what can only be construed to affect the outcome of the local general election. And by doing so, he not only contributed to the polluting the fair bidding process, but he released confidential information, and he should never have been in possession to begin with. Such behavior is not one that a municipal official in this town should represent, and therefore I am requesting a vote to remove David Morissette from the Phillipsburg Land Use Board, which will require 2/3 of a vote, and he will then be provided with a hearing, should he so choose, and an impartial presiding officer where the remaining evidence of his behavior justifying his cause will be presented.
All right, before anyone does anything, so it wouldn't be, whatever you do, it wouldn't be a motion to remove him. It would be a motion to authorize charges to be filed with notice to the affected officer or official, and then an opportunity to be heard, which is a hearing. So,
Right. I'm okay with that.
okay.
That's what I would make the motion.
Right, so it wouldn't be a removal tonight.
No, not at all.
Okay.
But I would make the recommendation then also to the planning board, the written recommendation that if such an applicant that he has taken part in this activism against, I would request that he recuse himself from any vote or deliberations as per the ethics law.
Yeah, I don't have a position on that, that's.
I'll write it. Not a problem.
It's like, the procedure as it relates to removal is notice and opportunity to be heard. So if you guys want to authorize that, you can authorize that, but what you'd be authorizing would be for notice to be provided and the opportunity to be heard, the hearing to be scheduled. And I'd recommend, if you're going to go that route, to have a hearing officer.
Okay. So if we don't have a hearing officer selected as of yet, we would have to search for one, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and who would we put the town attorney to search for that?
I mean, I can give you a list of names.
That would, preferably someone we all know.
You're right, you want someone impartial who knows,
Right.
you know, land use. And
Correct. That's what I want. I want him to receive a fair shot, but I want the option to make my case.
Right, you have to draft charges too, but I don't.
That won't be a problem.
Need a motion?
I do need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
No.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Wolford?
Yes. That's all I have for new business. Mayor Administrative reports. Since the mayor's not here, there is none unless Chief, do you have an administrative report? No. It is now public petition time.
Just as a point of information, Council President, are we going to form the subcommittees at a subsequent meeting, or are we?
Actually, we can do that this evening, Councilman. For the subcommittees?
Yeah.
If it's, do you want me just to throw nominees out?
Sure.
For the sewer utility subcommittee, I'd like it to be yourself and Council Vice President, if you'll accept.
Gladly.
Council Vice President. Can we do it all in favor, or it's got to be roll call?
You go off.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and for the redevelopment committee, I would like to nominate Councilman Lutz and Councilman McVeigh.
I'm fine with that.
Chair.
Accept?
Fine with that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Congratulations. I'm sitting home doing nothing. No, I'm team. So we can then move forward to public petitions. If you do have public petitions, please come forward, state your name and address for the record.
Thanks for coming again, guys.
Raymond Pack, 459 Eagle Avenue, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. I'd like to say special thanks to the council for coming up to the bowling.
It was a pleasure.
They made almost $5,000. Thanks for coming up.
It's amazing.
They filled almost 3/4 of the lanes up. And it was a good turnout. Especially I had to beat Rob Fulber in bowling.
All right, you're done, Ray.
And also, over the weekend, Craig Kapinski, a former Still Hill Bulldog baseball player and a former Phillipsburg wrestler, saved a life over the weekend. Someone saved someone from drowning. It's on NewJersey.com right now. And I'd like to say a special thanks for him for helping. He's also a state trooper,
Absolutely.
going out and helping save somebody's life.
I wrestled on the same team with him, and I don't want to say anything, but the guy down there was our coach.
But he did a great job. He went out there and represented Phillipsburg.
Excellent. Thank you, Ray. Is there anyone else?
Actually, Craig has a distinction of wrestling for PAL,
Firth
Still
Town.
Hill,
And
and
Firth.
Firth.
Right, yeah, all three of them.
I had him at 5 years old, and he was also a league runner-up in 8th grade.
He was something else.
Sorry.
Nope, that's okay. Feel free.
Liz Paulus, 26A Glen Avenue. You brought up about the newsletter. I'd like to know, when am I going to get my Oprah requests from the mayor? He sent some ridiculous notifications log. I sent him the directions on how to do it. The Oprah request is well overdue. Mr. Wenner had stated that I am entitled to my request because his Facebook page is a government.
Has it been more than 7 days?
It's been since June 26th.
What would be?
Well, at first, the mayor, I didn't issue my opinion until,
Right, but it's been more than 7 days.
yes, it's been more than 7 business days since I issued my opinion.
I've sent several emails. I've posted on oprahmachine.com. So when you're trying to get the information as to who's the author of that newsletter, I'd like to get my information. I'm to the point where I'm going to file a legal complaint.
I believe, and I can't encourage
I know,
you.
I'm just making a public
Okay.
statement, that's all I'm trying to do. So I have other Oprahs out there too that Vicky's been trying to get. I don't know who's stonewalling her, but it's not her fault. And I don't want her held responsible for it. But I'm getting pretty fed up with being stonewalled while trying to get some of this information.
Thank you, Ms. Pauls, for your comment. Is there anyone else?
Dan Boyce, 244, I'll try to make it real quick, I really want to go home. It's nice to see you pass the LMR bill, and I believe it's good for the town. People need to consider a lot of things. The bridge construction, I'm going to try to make this real quick. The bridge construction deal was passed with no tenants. You have a business moving in. It's a positive. You have no idea what's going to happen with bridge. You know, I was going to tell you a ghost story real quick. There's no campfire. But 30-some years ago, Hohokong and Lopakong decided on building a mall. And they brought stores in directed towards the higher echelon of the people that lived here, the executives, these businesses that left. They only had one store for the peons. It was miles and miles away down with the reprobates and the wombats. And that was Kmart, okay? That was the only thing they had for the common folk. And look what you got. They pushed and they pushed and they pushed for this mall, and now people can't wait for it to be torn down. Phillipsburg has one more redevelopment plan that I was back there today. I believe I was told they found velociraptor eggs back there on Howard Street. It's been sitting there for almost 15 years doing nothing. Is that the way that you want redevelopment to go?
No, I'm not laughing at you, by the way,
You know I've got...
I find your humor.
I have a big mouth, I'm gonna say what I
I
want.
think it's funny.
Say 23 years.
It's kind of close.
23 years? Really? That's sad. That's really sad. This redevelopment, I saw the pictures to it, and it's a fugazi, really. You've got, that's fake.
Oh, okay, I didn't know what it meant.
You've got walkways going through the air like we're the Jetsons. We're like a couple decades behind the Flintstones yet. No, really, let's be realistic about things. I didn't invest in town for it to be, can I say it? Can I speak? A
As
piece
long
of
as-
crap,
okay,
okay?
yeah, just don't swear. Thank you.
I'm investing here too. I've got children, I've got grandchildren in town. I want to see progress. But you have to have progress on a positive level. It is becoming, again, very partisan, and it's sickening because it's hurting everything. I wish Kim would come in here and explain to you about the grocery store that she tried hard to get. Everybody wants a grocery store.
Right.
Okay? They won't come in, and it's a chain grocery store. They won't come into town because of this shenanigans going on here. I know that Mayor pushed to get the grocery outlet in here. It didn't go here, it went to 25th Street. I mean, why don't people want to come in here? Really, look at matters. Clean the windows, use some Windex, clean it, look through things, and see it for what it really is. I mean, it's sad. There's such potential, but don't keep putting nails and tacks in front of everybody that wants to walk through here barefoot. Let them go through. It's a no-brainer. I don't know why, maybe that's why.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else?
But you like to drink somebody? How come the Perucci property on Howard Street, how does Perucci get away with letting that place grow like a jungle?
With the Velociraptor.
That's the mayor.
Yeah, I would ask you to ask the mayor. I would have to direct it to the
I
mayor's
keep
office.
bringing it up, but nothing's been done.
Have you emailed him?
I'm not gonna email that guy. I'm gonna get live.
No, but I know, Mr. Feely,
It's undeveloped,
But-
that's his excuse.
well, all I can say is, the appropriate process would be to at least ask the mayor. I'd have to point you in his direction. At least email him and give him
He's
the
on
opportunity.
vacation.
Okay.
All right, one more.
He's busy on this.
That property's all approved for housing, correct? Perucci. Approved for 420
Whatever
homes?
that track is, yes.
Yeah.
All right, how many homes is that property approved for on Fleming and Warren Street? The old Phillipsburg Nitronics. Leveled, approved, sits there, jungle.
Actually, I thought that one was denied.
Same thing as Perucci's. And they got herds of deer in there and herds of animals.
You're correct. That predates
Two-legged
us.
and four-legged again.
That actually goes back to when we still had a zoning and planning board. I believe the zoning department would not give them approval to.
Well, somebody needs to take care of it.
No, I don't.
It's all over the place.
I will, you know what we'll do, Mr. Feely, that's a good idea. I'll find out who owns the property. And I don't want to write on this, but I'll find out who owns the property and we will contact them.
You can do the same thing for Perucci.
I will direct that one to the mayor's office.
Bobby, may I make another comment real quick, please? I won't even get up, I'll sit right here.
Go ahead, Mr. Boyce.
Concerning the Perucci property, you know, he developed right next to the mall too. I think that kind of shows where his heart is at and everything else.
We're not going to, but we're not going to speak ill of him, right?
No, I'm not. I mean, somebody needs to put him on the carpet, is what I'm
I
saying.
don't know the man, I just don't want to speak ill of him.
No,
Look, you upset
absolutely.
Councilman Davis, he's leaving.
It's been so long, he may forget that he owns that property down there.
No, okay, we're done. We're going to move forward. Is there anyone else with a public comment?
Yeah. I mean, you get a sticker.
This is the most lax our decorum has been, by the way.
Ken Johnston, 79 North Street.
Yes.
So I have a question about about the sewer plant.
Yes,
Is that run by the town or is that privatized?
it is.
It's owned by the town, they contract out for an operator. So Natural Systems
And
Utilities,
for how long has that been that way?
how long is what, the private contract unit? Before NSU was involved, it was United Water. They had it probably since the 90s. I'd say.
So it's going back beyond the 25-year maintenance deferral?
Right, so I mean, you're asking about what has been done to the plant, what needs to be done to the
Well,
plant?
why can't the town use a breach of contract with the operator
Right, so,
for lack of?
there hasn't been a lack of maintenance on the part of the operator. It's just the plant itself goes back to, what Councilman was, what, the 60s?
50s.
50s, when it was built. And it's very expensive to maintain. So there's been a lot of deferred maintenance. That was a choice of, frankly, the town. And it's been held together with, I don't want to say drumstick, gun and, stand-in, but it's been held together very well by the operators that we have there. So now we're at the point where, in order to meet different loading limits that are being imposed by the Delaware Basin Commission and the DEP, there's been talk and actually implementation of reconfiguration of the plant itself, but you're constrained in doing that because the footprint of the plant is constrained on the location next to the Lackawanna Creek as it runs into the Delaware River. The floodplain is not what you do. So it hasn't been an issue of lack of upkeep necessarily, it's just the plant is old and the parts are expensive. So it wasn't a breach of contract, it was,
Okay. I'm just trying to get some back.
Yeah, you can Oprah the contract that we have with NSU, and it has built in there's an M&R budget that the council has negotiated, the mayor's office negotiated, the council approved every year. And so for maintenance and repair costs that need to be done, there's a line item associated with that was actually increased over previous years. It used to be $60,000. They've increased that because every year we're doing an overrun on the M&R. There's also capital projects that need to be done as well as the plant ages out. So
And
it's an old plant.
And is there a new or a plan in place to upgrade?
There's lots of talk you guys are doing. So yes.
Well, because everybody was, the opposition to LMR was complaining about this supposed smell from their containers.
Right.
But you probably couldn't smell that from the treatment plant emitting its odor every day. And so I also found on that website that was put out in opposition to LMR that the town, one of the town inspectors cited LMR for occupying a building without a CO. It was like a 2 or 3 page letter the inspector wrote. He has time to go after a business like that, but can't go after slumlords and properties that are falling in on themselves. I mean, I see that car drive by properties without orange stickers that, should have them, and nothing is done. Now, either that inspector needs to be reprimanded or let go and replaced with someone that's going to be able to do their job. That's about all I have to say.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson, appreciate it. Joe, you get 5 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes.
It's 3 minutes.
Give me a minute to 3?
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He got
Go ahead.
South Main Street.
Yes, sir.
And rather than all this hassle stuff you're playing with, which I disapprove, and the naming of names and all that stuff, I would like to Gotta get back. You have a problem with walls falling down or needing inspection. You have a problem with a water system we aren't quite sure of. You have a major problem with a sewer system that needs massive updating. You have a problem that Bob Merlo referred to, the tipping point. When you borrow money, at some point, the need to get income more to pay off principal disappears, the tipping point. Yet, right now, you need to spend money on these major events without hassling with each other, which is, all it's going to do is chase away your developers, which I won't mind at all because I don't want them. But you ought to. And deal with these heavy problems. You're going to have to spend some money. You're going to have to agree to spend some money. You're going to have to put it in the public face. And that's it.
Thank you, Joe. Is there anyone else? Okay. Moving forward, Council Open Time. Councilman Lutz.
I just have one thing. We asked the attorney a couple of times, myself and Danielle and I, how do we separate the land use board back to zoning and planning board?
Well, you combine the board via ordinance, you just have to undo it by ordinance.
By ordinance?
Yes.
Okay.
Creating a zoning board of adjustment and a planning board.
Can we do that?
Can we do that?
You want to?
It's a good idea. We only have 14,500 residents and it's not getting any larger.
How many residents?
14,500.
No, it's 11 million. I saw it on the
It's
newsletter.
14,500.
We have 11 million. I saw it in the newsletter.
No. I think, Councilman, I think that's a good idea. I honestly think that's a good idea. We'll get our zoning officer back.
10,000 that came to Port Cole.
Yeah, we'll get our zoning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if we can get an ordinance for that.
That's all I have, thank you.
Great. Council Vice President.
I had 2 addresses I want to check that are on South Main Street, but you know what, it must be at work, so I'll wait till the next meeting.
When you email them to the attorney?
Yeah, I can. What I'd like to look at is they're both not paying taxes currently, and they're both unoccupied, and the utilities are shut off, so I'd like to see if we could start collecting taxes on those 2 properties. One is the church next to Mr. Bullock's property, because I spoke to him while I was down at Joe's on Tuesday. They moved in? He
Yeah.
said there's no utilities on and the roof is falling off on his property.
They're in the
We'll move back in, and they're gonna reopen the church.
Yep.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I saw them down there the other day.
And the other was, it's really late. The Art Center building.
Yes.
Help me.
Riverview Arts Center.
Riverview Art Center, that building, yes. We also had neighbor complaints about that building, that the utilities were shut off. It's been unoccupied, and
It's a beautiful building.
we may be able to start collecting taxes on it because it's been a long time. So if we could look into that building. I want to say 68 South Main, but I'm not sure. I'll confirm it.
We know, yeah, Riverview Arts Center.
The only other comment was there was a lot of questions about enforcement. Just to clear that up for everyone, that is under the mayor's direction to handle all the enforcement of the ordinances in the town.
Yeah.
So if you find things not being enforced, I suggest you call the mayor's office because that is his responsibility. So if trucks are going up and down Center Street and they shouldn't be, call the mayor's office because that should be enforced through the mayor's office. But I'm sure he'll take care of that and make sure it's enforced.
Councilman Davis.
I'm good, thanks.
You're welcome. Councilman McVeigh.
I had a lot, but it's late, and most of the people in here, I would have said, you already know. When I sat on the other side, and I used to hear so much about no phone calls being returned, no answer, no this, no that, no Opers. I still kind of hear it. Council President was right, just, I guess, for the betterment of civility and professionalism, keep moving them forward. Just keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is you're actually, as you dump them into, like, as if you email me for something, and I don't respond, it's documented on the town email, so if you ever Oprah it, you can see that I'm failing to do my job in a malfeasance type of manner. So if you are sending yours to, say, someone you mentioned tonight, you're documenting that. So I would encourage you to keep doing that. I know I do. I mean, I don't get answered. I don't really care. I'm a big boy anyway. I just send it out there in the back of my mind. I'm going, it's documented, it's fine. And when the time comes, or whatever I'm looking for, whatever I'm sending in, I don't get answered, or I'm taking time out from painting my daughter's room this weekend, and I look for answers, and nothing. So I feel your pain, because I have it too. I think it's terrible when a citizen reaches out to a public official and doesn't get a response. Somebody reached out to us this weekend, and what was going on downtown in the transit lot. Well, put the paintbrush down, get in the car, make up our own sign, push the other one over, and just talk to people down there and say, this is what we got going on. It was interesting, but we shouldn't have to do that.
For the record, though, he did give us permission to push the sign.
He did give us permission to push the sign down, yeah, so.
No, he did, I called him, he gave me permission.
Since I'm now on the redevelopment subcommittee, that Attorney Webster, I have to be talking directly to the office, so I will be kind. But please continue to do what you're doing. We will listen to you. Council Vice President did say very much so that some things are not our job. Still, there's a productive meeting tonight, very good meeting for a lot of folks in the room, and a lot of people in our community and our town workers too. I feel it's a very successful evening, though we're still going in the right direction. But on the back end, some of your real concerns, like our alleyways, are falling. We saw on Sunday that out in front of the old Stockton house, the bricks just laying on the ground. We saw that because when you do, as an elected official, do get in your car and drive around town, and go to other places and around businesses, and it just doesn't take much time to actually put your eyes on this stuff, you'll want to respond to you guys. You want to respond to your emails. You want to go to your houses and hear what you have to say. It's when you don't do it. It's when you don't do it, you don't respond, because you don't see it. So good luck to everybody. Good luck in June 2019 to anyone. But thank you very much. I don't know why you're still here, but God bless you. So I always like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Okay, mine will be quick. First, I'd like to thank the police department for coming out tonight and providing us with the enhanced security that we did request. I do appreciate that. Hopefully you'll come out next meeting too. With all the, no, I'm just kidding.